If you've watched my programs before, you know I'm always looking out for you on how there are opportunities available and what you can embrace. Two trends right now that are hot: entrepreneurship and cryptocurrencies. I made a trip out to Austin, Texas, where I got a chance to be in the studio talking with Chris of The Crypto Show. They call it that, The Crypto Show. He talks about what opportunities are available today and how you can take advantage of these. Join me for this fun interview with a marvelous human being, Chris from The Crypto Show. Today's world is exciting, and one of the ways that we learn a lot and stay in touch with other people is through podcasts. I've had the honor and the privilege to listen to a podcast that you can do also called The Crypto Show. Matter of fact, we're here right now. We're in the place where they house their building, where they do it, within Defense Distributed here in Austin, and I've got Chris joining us today. Chris, great to have you here.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, this is fun. And we're right here in, what do you call it, the Heart of Freedom in Austin or something?
Heart of Freedom and Liberty in Austin, Texas at Defense Distributed's warehouse.
Exactly. And remember that the chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. And so, now, what does that mean? I say that often. People are going, what is he talking about? What is that?
Well, that's from our intro, which since you listen to the show, which we appreciate, you know it from the intro. It's basically, I think it's what do you call it? Radio Free Europe announcement where they would have a code to let people know about certain, I guess, military positions or other political happenings.
I think that was during World War II, wasn't it? Yeah, so they could give messages the Nazis wouldn't understand. The chair is against the wall. What does that mean? Right. But the people who were freedom fighters, like in, for instance, Underground France, Vichy France, exactly. They would know that, and they would say, John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. They repeat it.
It's nonsense in a way, but it would have meaning to the people it was intended to be received by. So
yeah, exactly. And you got a phone over there that's going off. That's okay. We go ahead and turn that off, and there we are. So this, yeah, that's okay. No problem. See, we're just having a great time here. We're letting the recording go. I would say let the tape roll. But we're not really. Yeah, that's right. We're only on the radio. So it's like we just keep rolling. This is real. Well, there's a lot going on. As a matter of fact, the reason we're here is because I was doing a program up in Dallas. And when you're in Dallas, hey, I looked at a map, and Austin is only that far away from Dallas. I have a small map, okay? But I thought, well, let me just do it. And I found out they had a plane coming down here with Southwest, and they let me get on it. Isn't that amazing?
I'm really surprised they let you get on it, honestly.
They let me today. Wow, this is great. So I got on there and came down here. I thought, I want to see these guys. I want to thank them. We got a chance to see the amazing, well-known, and handsome devil that he is. Cody Wilson is here. And he's over here. Yeah, there he says. Now you can stay the rest of the day. And we got Chris here. But Danny is not here. Yeah, and handsome too. That's right. And matter of fact, should we tell people who I think you look like?
Yeah, Chester A. Arthur, the one of the 21st president of the United States.
That's right. Now, those of you that know and love Chester Arthur, wouldn't you say he's a dead ringer?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm flattered, thank you.
That's right. Although Chester Arthur wasn't that good of a guy, but that's okay. We still, he would have been if you had been there with him.
Exactly. I would have turned him into a full-blown libertarian. He would have done nothing as president. Laissez-faire all the way.
Absolutely. I like it. But Danny is not here with us. Now, Danny Sessom, who's normally on the show, was going to be here, but is not here. Where is Danny?
And Danny, who is much more handsome than I am, and much more active because he's able to. He is at the coast in his beautiful RV in his truck, handing out food and supplies. He's handed out, as of yesterday, he told me over 500 meals and counting. And that doesn't include these little care packages that he's also handing out.
Now tell me, why is he doing that? What's going on while we're recording this? What's happening in the world?
Hurricane Harvey just hit the Texas coast in the past week, causing historic devastation, not just along the coast, but inland as far as Austin. For instance, there are some parts of the outlying Austin region have received over a foot of flooding in homes. So it's been pretty terrible, and the infrastructure's out. People are have been stranded. Most of those people have been rescued at this point, but there are people without food, without power, without clothes, without anything. So Danny's out there helping with the relief effort, and he's doing an excellent job so far.
I think what they're doing is really good because you're able to show freedom and liberty is not just about living it this way. Yeah, that's a part of it. Living and enjoying your lifestyle, that's a big part. But Danny is out there with his RV giving away free meals and helping people.
And I want to add to what you just said is, well, one, thanks to Dash, who has supported us in this endeavor with Dash financial support. The freedom and liberty is not just about what I want to say, the common misconception that it's all about me, 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 me. It's not all about financial profit and greed. It's about helping your community, volunteering and giving back. You can't have charity without capitalism, but because capitalism, builds the wealth for charity. But I'll tell you what, all the capitalists and libertarians that I've ever known were extremely charitable people, cared about the poor. They just felt that voluntary means for caring about the poor were far superior than coercive state-run means of caring for the poor.
Very well said. And I think that's important. Not only do we believe in creating wealth and living life freely, but also helping others. We love doing it. We're doing it not because of some guilt or shame, but we're doing it because this is something we want to do and it does help others. And I know you're doing a lot of that with Dash, DASH, which is a cryptocurrency. Those of you that might not be familiar with it. And it's a cryptocurrency that has some advantages over other currencies and does a lot. Tell us a little bit about Dash for those that don't know it, and then how the Crypto Show, is involved in that.
Sure. So you can go to dash.org to find out more about the cryptocurrency. But Dash is one of the leading cryptocurrencies out there. And some of its advantages include, whereas Bitcoin has an average 10-minute validation time, Dash has a 2.5-minute validation time. But what's cooler than that, it has an instant authorization feature that basically makes it perfect for point of sale at retail shops. Now, while we're still big fans of Bitcoin at the Crypto Show, we understand that Bitcoin has its limits, especially as currently constituted, and that Bitcoin, because of higher transaction fees and the slower transaction times, just can't do what Dash can do. And also Dash's transaction fees are very, very minimal. So it's, again, optimal for these, what they call microtransaction sales. It also has what they call a DAO, or a decentralized autonomous organization, which is just a fancy-sounding, scary-sounding word for a governance structure, or more simply just a voting system for allowing the Dash community to get projects funded using the Dash currency itself, and to get protocol level improvements implemented, and they're able to do it very quickly thanks to this voting system.
Yeah, and I think that helped Danny with the work that he's doing down in Houston now.
Absolutely. So what happened is they've Dash voted to have us as a partner by supplying us with Dash in part to do these charitable things. So even before Dash's contribution to the Hurricane Harvey relief, we've already done several food relief days to the homeless in Austin and elsewhere, feeding hundreds and hundreds of homeless people. In fact, we beat out Unsung, this homeless organization, or an organization that helps the homeless out of Maryland. We had a competition one day to who could feed the most homeless, and well, we won out pretty handily. So
congratulations, that's good. Well, speaking of Dash, we know that there's some plans that they have for coming out with a new evolution, I think they call it. Yes. It's going to have some extra features, and I've heard a little bit about this. We've got you right here, so I'm going to take advantage of you being here and the knowledge you have. What is evolution as it relates to Dash, the coin, and what are the advantages that it's going to have?
Absolutely. Well, so one thing that's already been implemented that is a structural change that is going to yield benefits in the future, but is instead of one governance structure, they're now splitting it up into governance structures or voting pools, like I talked about, different ones for different priorities or projects within Dash. So one will be for marketing, one will be for specific protocol changes, one will be for financing like other projects. And so that's an improvement already that's been put in to help facilitate things. The rest, though, is going to be incorporating things like a point of sale system and other financial instruments, basically, for facilitating Dash transactions, for making it easier for anybody like your 90-year-old grandmother who's never even touched a computer, to make it as easy as possible for her to use, and then to make Dash as business friendly and finance friendly as possible as anything out there on the market, not just crypto. I think the goal is to make it as easy and user friendly as any dollar based legacy system.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of the things I heard, and you and I were both at Anarchapulco early this year down in Mexico, and I heard Amanda B. Johnson, who is a spokesperson for Dash, talk about a wonderful idea of doing monthly payments. Somebody says, "Hey, I want to buy this, and I'll pay X dollars every month." Is that something that's going to be implemented as well?
Absolutely, that's a great example. So when I say financial instruments, I don't want to get people thinking like too complex, like Wall Street type financial instruments, although that is also, I think, part of the plan down the road to have full sort of market features like that. But stuff like that, being able to do monthly payments, being able to do recurring payments, all the sorts of things that we do commonly in business to business or business to customer or customer, anything that you can think of on a simple everyday level, it's going to incorporate that to again mimic the legacy banking system, but to have additional features that are special to crypto, special to Dash.
Very good. So I see Dash is something that you want to look into, and you can go to dash.org where you'll be able to find out about it. Dash gives you the ability to do just a tremendous amount of capability. I like the idea of it's faster. I like the idea that you have lower fees, and also it's a little bit safer and more secure. I understand, a little more secret on what's going on when you use Dash, particularly when you use their core wallet. Is that right?
Yeah, and I was going to say, I forgot, part of that is they are going to implement additional security and privacy features to make Dash more private, more anonymous, and secure. And one thing that Dash has that is a benefit too, as far as security, is it's a hybrid system. It's a hybrid proof of work and proof of stake system. Which what
does that mean in English?
So proof of work, like Bitcoin, is how many mining machines can churn out those math problems and validate the system with mining power. Proof of stake is essentially the voting pool in Dash is made up of what they call master nodes, and a master node it's a person basically with 1,000 Dash who submits their 1,000 Dash to the system as collateral, and it gives them voting rights. So proof of stake is simply the system operates in part on who owns what, and that's instead of using mining to determine how transactions are made or who owns a Dash. It's simply a sort of separate accounting of who has how many Dash in the system, and then they can use that to vote as well. So,
and you were able to get in a lot easier and less expensive years ago when Dash was. I remember it was like $3 or $4, $5 for one Dash. What's the latest price of Dash that you've seen?
Like $350. So literally 100 times what you're talking about. It's insane.
Yeah. Don't you wish that if you're watching this, you had purchased that much Dash a few years ago? Of course, we can say that about many things. But I think as we look at that, it's a trend. And I want to talk with you a little bit about the trends at the Crypto Show. The Crypto Show is the podcast you want to get. Make sure you put that THE in there. On there, you work a lot with people who believe in freedom, liberty. We don't have to necessarily use any labels, just you believe, do whatever you want, don't harm anyone else. Take responsibility for your actions. That's kind of what you revolve around. And there are many people that do that, many of whom are entrepreneurs. What are the trends that you're seeing out there with entrepreneurs, with people who love liberty, from your point of view, talking to these people and interacting with them on a regular basis?
Well, there's the obvious crypto entrepreneurship, and again, Dash really promotes that with their voting system. People submit project ideas for essentially technologies. Some may already exist, some may not, but they're all very much entrepreneurship based. And so there's a lot of crypto entrepreneurship. There's a lot of social media entrepreneurship. And that's obviously been around for a while, but that's a big focus amongst the people that we see. I even see a lot of just traditional brick and mortar entrepreneurship making a comeback, but making a comeback with the crypto technologies or libertarian philosophies built into the core ethic of the business. Not just how it's run ethically, but even in just how to operate it in a more efficient manner. So I'm trying to think, but other entrepreneurship that I see,
It seems like a lot of people are being able to, because of technology now, able to do what they couldn't do before. They can start their own business. We're here, Defense Distributed, who has shown people how to have 3D printers, have milling stations, and be able to process and do a lot to take care of themselves without having to depend on others.
And actually, that's a very good point. In 3D printing, I actually have two friends who are collaborating on a business. Partly for disclosure purposes, I don't really know what it is, but I know it exists, using 3D printing technology. And automation is a big one too. Between the two, 3D printing, making parts for you, or making even whole operable machines, that fits in well with automation as well. And of course, even with the automation, using blockchain can fit into that. And that's a big one, whether it's automation for, say, hydroponic farming, or automation for or even like a brick and mortar, like a restaurant or something. And we've heard of that, some of that coming online, but even at a less corporate national level, at smaller local entrepreneurship levels, the incorporation of automation and 3D printing is taking off a lot too.
Right. The bottom line is, hey, there's a lot of opportunities out there. If you feel stuck in a dead-end job, some people do, now is the time to get out there, embrace entrepreneurialism, see what's happening and how things are working with it. A lot of good happening out there in the world, including always good to, a common friend that we have is Lynn Ulbrecht. And how do you describe Lynn?
Well, the world's greatest mom.
There you go. And Lynn Ulbrecht is, of course, the mother of Ross Ulbrecht, a person that we love and want to see freed from a terrible injustice. But we do have to say a shout out to her. So this is to you, Lynn. Hello, how you doing?
Hi, Lynn.
And so a lot of good things happening. We're at here, remember, The Crypto Show. Before we let you go, Chris, any final words, any messages you want to leave for our audience?
Well, definitely check out freeross.org, and if you can, donate to Ross's cause. It's not over yet. There's still 2 potential ways for him to be freed that they're exploring. So freeross.org. You can also go to thecryptoshow.com, and we have a link to some stuff that you can purchase, the proceeds of which will go to freeross.org. So there's the cryptoshow.com is a way to reach us. You can listen live at the Listen Live link. The Facebook page for The Crypto Show is also a good place to find us. And then 89.1 FM in Austin, every Wednesday and Sunday from 8 to 10 p.m., you can listen to us live.
All right, very good. Well, it's one of my shows that I love listening to. I love listening to the podcast, and every show they have, there's something good on there. I like that, and so we'll be thinking about that and remembering that the chair is against the wall, and John has a long mustache. Now you're going to have to listen to that just to hear it on the show. You'll go, I know what that is. Right up there with Pinky and the Brain, and I like that too. Chris, an honor to have you here. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me in here. The pizza was great, by the way. Thank you very much. You got pizza for me. It was marvelous. You're coming in today, so thank you. And thank you for joining us. There's a lot of opportunities out there. The Crypto Show is an example of how you can get ideas and go, I had thought about that, but not like that, and they gave me the specifics. Tune into that. Get to know this wonderful guy here, and Chris. I'm Terry Brock with terrybrock.com, and thank you for joining me.